Here we are on the east side of the garage, and the electric meter should be sealed on three sides to prevent moisture infiltration penetration into the wall system. Here's our grounding rod. They're supposed to be completely buried. It's probably buried enough. An electrician could probably measure the resistance on that. The code says buried. It says, doesn't mean buried 7 foot 9 inches, because it's supposed to be an 8-foot rod. I don't even know if that's the case, but it's supposed to be buried. I know that when mine was installed, the electrician showed the code inspector that they got enough resistance to satisfy him for whatever reason. We got a pass. My rod's not buried. I wasn't here. I don't know if that happened here. I know it's supposed to be buried. Inside the garage east wall, this is the load center, electric service panel, breaker box, call it what you will, okay? One thing going on with this box is we got the wrong kind of screws holding the cover on. So those screws right there, they're sharp. I'm going to put them down here where I found them. I'm going to put them back, but I got to say that they're the wrong kind of screws. Diminished, small, whatever. Right? No, it's not right. It's not right at all. Okay, AC's top right, 50 amps. The condensing unit outside is properly fused. That's good. All the breakers are labeled here, except that they are handwritten. Okay, they are block printed, if you will. It's supposed to be printed. Printing. Right here it says Power Master. That's printing. Okay, it's supposed to be printed. All this information is printed. This is handwritten. I didn't make that up. Okay. Coming in here, the gap between the panel and because this cover fits right to this edge. And we got a gap more than 1/8 of an inch. We sure do. Well, is that going to compromise the fire blocking? Yes, it sure will. Sure did. Well, bud, that's construction. It's kind of hard to do that. Well, you know, they did it fine up here at the top. Just saying. Now this cabinet, it was screwed in. Screwed in. How about that? Screws are faster. Screws are tighter. I get that. But you know what? Screws don't have the same shear strength as nails. If this cabinet had been nailed in at this garage, a tornado is going to come hit this building and your garage gets blown up, you already got a bad day. I get that. You already got a bad day. But if the cabinet had been nailed in rather than screwed in, and an event like that happened, the cabinet would have a better chance of staying with the framing members, and the whole wall might have been blown over, but the cabinet would, you know, there might still be some semblance of integrity there. As it is, if the cabinet pops out and the box is just sparking on the floor, first responder is going to have to dance over that to try to go in there to the door that's going to be open because it doesn't have a self-closing spring on it. And anyway, so that's what we're going to have. The bonding location is not labeled inside the cabinet. I don't know where the bonding is. L1 and L2 coming in. There should be protective rubber booties over these guys. Your main neutral coming in. Okay, he's supposed to be wrapped with white tape. If you don't know that's the main neutral, you don't belong in this cabinet. I get that. That's supposed to be wrapped with white tape. Over here on your properly fused condensing unit, this white hot coming in here is supposed to be wrapped in black tape. If you don't know that's hot, you don't belong in this cabinet. I get that. It's supposed to be wrapped with black tape, it's supposed to be wrapped with white tape. It's supposed to have protective booties. Now we're coming in here. See these grounds? It's okay to double them. We don't triple them. Oh, yeah, we do, but we shouldn't triple them. We shouldn't go 4. Okay, 3 is about as much as you go. But these over here, these are white hots. These are your neutrals. They complete the circuit. Power is always coming. This is only during an emergency. Power is always coming through these when this is being used. So we're not supposed to double lug these. Your neutrals are not supposed to be double lugged. They've got plenty of room to have done it right. I don't know. Then when the power comes in, see that? Okay. See this big knockout here is where L1 and L2 come in. We got them in different locations because we don't know where this panel's cabinet is going to, load center is going to be installed. And today we needed it here. You see all these smaller ones? You're not supposed to bring more than 2 cables in at a time. It's called the skin effect. That's called bundling, the skin effect. Now I hate discounting my work. I really do. But even the illustration that I use as a reference inside your report is going to say this is very common. It kind of blows it off. It's almost apologetic. And I hate doing that. I don't like apologizing for my work. I don't like discounting my work. But it's very common. It is true. It is very common. I haven't seen a house in 2 weeks that I didn't see bundling in it, including my house. So, but my house is not for sale, and you shouldn't have to live like me. So that's bundling. So what we learned? We learned that our meter on the other side should have been sealed. We learned that our grounding rod wasn't exactly buried right. We learned that we've got hand printing. We learned that we got hand printing right there. We learned that we got bundling coming into the cabinet. We learned that L1 and L2 do not have protective booties. We learned that our main neutral isn't wrapped with white tape. We learned that our white hot going to our condensing unit wasn't wrapped with black tape. We learned that our neutrals in the cabinet were double lugged. We learned that our bonding location wasn't labeled in here. We learned that there was more than 1/8 of an inch gap on our cabinet, and we learned that our cabinet was improperly screwed into place.